Welcome to this welcome to this video. The first video for the waited, eagerly anticipated match between world champion Anand and Magnus Carlsen, the challenger. I did some extensive pre-match videos, 20 videos showing the best games or some great games of the players, not necessarily the best ones, hard to choose. But now we get to the real match. The first game has been played today, and yeah, let's get right to the game itself. Carlsen playing white, and he's playing knight f3. It's always hard to guess what opening he will play. He plays all moves, all main moves, and yeah, knight f3 is one of them, but still not the most frequent choice. e4 is probably Carlsen's main move, but here knight f3 was played, which can mean different things, just some move order tricks or some independent opening. We see that Anand is replying with d5, so he's more prepared in or for queen's gambit structures. White quite often now just plays d4, and after knight f6, c4, we get a queen's gambit, either queen's gambit declined or Slav. Yeah, okay, theoretically you could also play the accepted. Anand has done this in the past. In the past, not the past, the past. All right, so d4, normal move, but Carlsen plays g3, steering the game into more unconventional channels. This is leading to a ratty opening, or a King's Indian attack type of game, where white fianchettos and then plays like that in the center, King's Indian attack, or plays with c4 in the style of the ratty opening. The pure ratty opening is c4, but this is somewhat out of fashion because of the reply d4. White rarely wants to play this kind of reverse Benoni. So players who like something like that, for example, for white, or that for white, just delaying d4, very often start with the 2g3 and only later play c4. Incidentally, this is also my main opening as white, so I'm able to tell some things about that. Okay, Anand now plays the move g6, and it's really funny coincidence. This is my system as black against this opening. I play 1 d5, and on g3 I play g6, and it's a very good, solid way to open as black. The main way to play instead of g6 is normally to go something like c6, bishop out, or to g4, then knight f6 and e6. This is somewhat similar to a London system with d4, bishop f4 and so on, but with colors reversed. This is an alternative setup. g3 has a specific idea. I'm going to show that. Bishop g2, Carlsen played, and bishop g7. By the way, Anand has never played 2g6, so this is a new idea for his opening repertoire. Yeah, what black is doing, this quick fianchetto actually aims to control the e5 square, so black is intending to occupy the center with e5. If white now just castles, black is able to play e5, and yeah, you don't get the opportunity too often as black to build up a full center after 4 moves. So this is always something to welcome if you're able to do that. White rarely allows this kind of setup and reacts after bishop g7, and the reaction is usually d4 or c4, one of those moves. If I'm white in this position, it can happen. I can have this position with both colors. I would personally play c4 here and attack the center with the c pawn. After that, black has a choice. He can support the pawn with c6, with e6, or knight f6, just cover it. You don't want to take with the queen after the capture. Or black can push the pawn to d4, so advance. And now we have the same situation as mentioned before after the pure reti, but now black is committed to a bishop on g7, which is a possible line, but not the line probably black would have chosen if he still had the opportunity to set up differently. So this is an alternative for white. Carlsen's choice, however, is another one. He played d4. Of course, also a good move, stopping e5 very directly. And here Anand is going for an interesting choice and a good choice. Something that I maybe should look at. I never really studied the move. He played now the move c6, which is a little detail, but a good one, an interesting one. The normal looking move, of course, is knight f6, just going for complete symmetry. The point of the move c6 is that after knight f6 here, white will probably play c4. And now if black captures on c4, black in general has two ways to play this position. He can allow the capture, he can support with c6, or he can take himself. Here, he actually, after taking himself, white could go knight a3 and just get the pawn back. Bishop e6 is not particularly great. In the game, to spot the difference, he played c6. If white now would play a quick c4, let's say just here, then black could really think of just taking it. And the problem is that now knight a3 can be answered simply by b5. So here it's just a pawn. So c6 is a move to discourage the c4 push, which would be rather normal for white to play c4 here. But it's not so easy now, because black with the early c6 somehow prepares the capture. We see that after castles, this is what Carlsen played. Anand plays knight f6, and again if c4, black can take, and he has not castled yet and spent this on c6, so he has really ideas to keep the pawn. If white, for example, here would play knight e5, attacking the pawn, trying to get it back, besides the simple bishop e6 to cover it, black even has this nice idea. Very direct play, and the idea is after knight c4, you're just hanging d4. So white must be careful with c4. He probably should prepare the move, and Carlsen is doing just that. He plays b3, preparing c4. Yeah, Anand castling, very normal. And now bishop b2. This is all very standard. Bishop f5. Good developing move, of course. And now c4. You cannot really play without the move. You need to put some pressure on the center. Otherwise, it's just too tame. Knight b d7. And yeah, right now here on move 9, we're already at a very important point of this game. We see that black is completely developed. He's got all minor pieces in play and has castled. He has not really found places for the rooks, but in this quite close position, this is not easy at all. In this concrete position here, white of course has to decide what to do with his minor piece on b1. This knight needs to be played, but where? And it seems that Carlsen's move now, which looks completely natural, is a mistake. He plays knight c3. It's a common move. I found more than 30 games in my database with that, but 30 games nowadays is not much. We're already at a relatively rare position. After this game, I think it's this move knight c3 will be relegated to the dustbin, probably, because it's not playing for any for anything. We see what happens in the game. Knight bd2 is probably the way to go. The main idea is that this knight adds further stability for the c4 pawn, and this is probably what white should do, trying to keep the game interesting. I think the position is probably somewhere between equal and very, very slightly better for white, simply based on the fact that white is the one to have a bit of pressure in the center, but it's not very spectacular at all. This setup with d5 and g6, this Fianchetto Grunfeld with c6, this is what we transposed into, is generally considered to be very solid for black. And I personally doubt that we will see this position again in the match. It's very, very little that white can play for. Of course, Carlsen is the kind of player that does not need any big advantages out of the opening, but still this is very, very, very little. In the game he played knight c3, and as mentioned, I think this this turns out to be not so great. Yeah, why? Anand now plays simple and strong. He took on c4, and of course a move that needs to be justified with tactical means. Otherwise, it doesn't make much sense to capture with your d pawn on c4 to trade a central pawn against a not so great b pawn. But it has a concrete idea as usual. Knight b6 is the idea, attacking the c4 pawn. This is a weakness now. This is why knight d2 has the benefit of protecting c4. The knight here is doing nothing to protect your weak pawn, and white needs to react now. What to do with the pawn? Yeah, you can cover or you can advance. Let's look briefly at covering the pawn. Let's say queen b3. This is the move that is probably the most natural try to cover. Yeah, here black can actually just play bishop e6 to increase the pressure, and here it's difficult for white. If you now try to cover c4, you already have to reckon with tactical solutions. Knight e5 is such a move that covers c4, but black, yeah, by the way, black can also take on d4, but this is probably a bit risky. A position like that could be quite promising for white, but it's not necessary at all from black's point of view. Black here has a strong move, and this is this pseudo sacrifice, just taking here and playing b5. You get the knight back now, and it's a very nice position after bishop c6, bishop c4. Yeah, the queen needs to move again, and then probably just rook c8. We see that black has some edge on the queen side. He's got 2 against 1, and he's got this annoying play on the c file. So this is not good at all. And after queen b3, bishop e6, what are the alternatives? You need to do something about c4. Yeah, white can try to make a push like d5 work, but it's not really enough. Let's look at that. Knight g5, this is a point. Pressurizing e6 and d5. But black has this funny reply, and it takes. The problem is white cannot really take on b7, as knight c5 is just forking. It's really a problem, this pawn on c4. Queen b3 is it's really leading to nothing, and yeah, what else is there? You can try knight e5 immediately, but what about this move? Attacking e5, and after the knight on e5 has exchanged or moved, c4 is really gone. Here it's almost unplayable already. If white takes, for example, queen takes, it's just a double attack. d4, c4. Yeah, it's just not great. After knight b6, yeah, Carlsen played c5, and yeah, of course, knight c4 now, and black somehow has very quickly activated his pieces, the knight from b6 to c4, and yeah, it just attacks the, the bishop on b2, and yeah, white, of course, has a problem here. You don't really want to give him the bishop and concede the bishop pair, but yeah, what should you play? Carlsen at the end decided to play bishop c1, and bishop c1 is basically yeah, it's already admitting that something went wrong. But what else is there? You could have tried queen b3 just to avoid this yeah, undeveloping of the bishop, but it's not great at all. I mean, black can just take b2, he can try bishop e6 and try to provoke another queen move, but also simply taking and a move like, let's say, queen a5. Black has many possible ideas. Black has two bishops, and it's not clear what white is really playing for. So it's not really leading too much to allow the capture on b2. Yeah, he played bishop c1, and maybe the idea is to evict the knight from c4 later and try to prove that you have an or that your additional center pawn means something. But it's already beyond those general considerations. Black plays a strong move now, knight d5, just putting pressure on the c3 knight, and yeah, now it's problematic. The next move basically is a draw offer. Carlsen plays queen b3, and queen b3 is just allowing a draw, and Carlsen also thought a while before he played that. But the problem already is it's very hard to not play queen b3. If you take on d5, for example, I mean, you need to address your hanging knight on c3, so you cannot cover it with any move, so you need to queen b3, okay, but you need to play queen b3 and accept the game continuation, the possible draw, or you need to take. And after taking, black has a very comfortable choice. Even at first I thought, all right, okay, just take with the pawn, and black is in good shape, which is true. He has a nice knight on c4. He can play possibly bishop to e4, and another idea is always to play at the right moment b6 and attack the pawn here on c5. Black has a very comfortable position. In fact, besides that, even queen d5 is a move which looks a bit weird, to put the queen directly into the view of the light squared bishop, but it's not really an issue. If white goes knight e5, for example, you just play queen e6, and it turns out that white's center is a real liability, especially the d4 pawn is a problem. Rook d8, it can easily be attacked. And if not knight e5, if white plays a slow move, let's say queen b3, and black has got bishop e4, this is the idea, setting up this battery, and it's very difficult to get rid of those pieces in the middle. So this is an additional option besides c takes d5. This basically means that knight takes d5 is not leading to anything. So Carlsen played queen b3, and now Anand just went knight a5, attacking the queen. Yeah, you don't have much choice. You need to keep c3 covered, so he went to a3. Alternatively, queen b3 is possible, but after knight c4, queen b3, only move knight a5. We are just repeating. Yeah, and in the game, in fact, queen a3 was played, knight c4, queen b3, knight a5, queen a3, knight c4, and the draw. So what an anti-climatic development in this first game. After all this tension building up towards the match, we have this very short game 1. Unexpectedly very short game. Carlsen is really not the kind of player who concedes quick draws, but sometimes it just happens that you stumble into a configuration where you simply cannot avoid the draw, as awful as it might feel to you. I guess he didn't like to draw this game. Of course he wanted to fight, but it can even happen in situations where you are the much stronger player, and somehow you stumble into a situation where you simply cannot avoid it, the draw. In fact, I believe after, if you look a few moves back, after this sequence was initiated, it is in fact very difficult to avoid this, because any alternatives after that involve risks that you probably don't want to take. Carlsen is really the kind of player who takes practical risks and says, okay, I want to continue, I'm trying to keep the game going, and I'm willing to gamble a little, but there is no leeway for any gambling here. You need to keep c4 here and do so by pushing. As we saw, protecting does not help, and after that it's difficult. Knight d5 is really playing for a disadvantage. So queen b3 is the only move really, and now, well, Wishy, I think, was content with the quick draw in game 1, so especially with black, of course. So knight a5 is what he played, and we had this draw. Yeah, was it possible for black to play for a win here, play for more? Yeah, well, c4 is hanging, and how do you protect it? Can try b5, dramatic move. Yeah, maybe this is playable if you are ambitious. Let's say white takes, then yeah, probably just a takes. Sorry, the knight is hanging. I'm sorry. You need to secure the knight first, and then after this take. Yeah, maybe you can try that, but well, it's a match of 12 games, and black in the first game, a draw is perfectly alright. So I think Anand was content with this slight psychological edge, let's say, and certainly Carlsen wanted to have a longer game and make a fight out of it. But it's sometimes just happens. You stumble into this kind of situation where you cannot do much, and it's hard to say if in his preparation they didn't expect this setup, or maybe he could just confuse some move order. This is always possible, that you believe you follow your preparation, and then you have it slightly confused, and it's probably not leading to disaster, but maybe to a situation where you cannot escape this drawing routine. So not exactly a great game, this first match game, but we still have 11 games to come, and I guess we can look forward to game 2, where Anand is playing white. Curious to see what kind of opening line he's going to choose, e4, d4, something else. Alright, I'll be back tomorrow to cover game 2. Hope you enjoyed it anyway, despite being a very short game. I'll be back tomorrow with game 2. Thanks for watching.